Goddess Sekhmet. So this is one which I am just so excited about every time I speak about her. Sekhmet is ultimately my signature frequency. And the reason I've just popped that in the beginning there is because you're going to find exactly the same with a particular god or goddess that really activates the fire within you. And what happens is there's almost like a very dynamic energy matching. It's like a personality, frequency, energy, soul thing match. And then all of a sudden you'll go, wow, okay, I have a very, very strong connection with that god or goddess there. And they will then start to teach you everything about yourself. And that's what's happened with me over the time. I mean, look, my personality is I'm like, I'm bubbly, I'm loud, I'm out there. I'm like fire, and then you'll have other people which are like kind of maybe their personalities are a lot more softer and they've got that mother energy and they just know how to calm and nurture. And that might be more Isis or even more so Hathor. So that's what I'm saying. This is why it's such an incredible journey, that once you go through the lands of Egypt, once you start to interact and get to know all of these divine family members, because that's what they are, you will start to recognize yourself in each and every one of them. But there will be that one that really, really activates you and then propels you forward. And then that is when you're just going to work really powerfully and co-creatively with them. And that is ultimately how I have worked with Sekhmet over the years. Bit by bit, I've discovered and unlocked more and more and more of myself through sitting with my mother, Sekhmet. So she is what I would call my primary frequency of Egypt, and yes, I'm connected to lots and lots of other gods and goddesses, and I can bring Isis through me. I get a very, very strong connection with her, but my signature soul frequency is definitely that of Sekhmet. And that knowledge and knowing and understanding has helped me exponentially kind of expand into my mission and purpose, because this is what I'm saying: know thyself. So to know thyself is to know God, as the Egyptians said, and this is what they mean. Okay, so as Sekhmet has said, we do not worship these gods and goddesses. We recognize their presence within us because we are a reflection of them. Everything is a divine mirror, and we are oneness. So we certainly don't call the gods or goddesses in. We call them up from within us, because this is why we go to Egypt, to the modern mystery schools. We go back to the temples to remember those frequencies that match our own and bring us back online. So that's what I speak about when we go back to the temples to receive codes. Some of those are to activate those gods or goddesses within you, which is your primary substance, your primary fire. You know what I mean? So talking about fire, Sekhmet is all about that. She is known as the Dark Mother. She's very much to do with the shadow, meaning she will burn away anything which is dense, any low vibration frequencies, anything like that. So she's a powerful alchemist. So it's turning base metal into gold. She will take your fear and turn it into courage. She will take your doubt and turn it into trust. Okay, she will take your impatience and turn it into detachment, whatever you need. But what she will do as well is teach you how to claim your power, proclaim your power, meaning, so claiming your power, kind of like acknowledgement and acceptance of core power, much like the Great Sphinx teaches you to do, shows you how to do that. Sekhmet will help you proclaim your power. Now that is more to do with being out there, being seen in the world, unapologetically you, and just being you in the full expansiveness and just being part of it all. And this is what she shows you: fierce courage, basically, to go out there and put your roar out there, and that is something that we all need. So I believe every part of us has a little bit of Sekhmet going on, right? As I've said before, she is kind of like the other side of the coin to Hathor. The two goddesses are one of the same. So I like I've said, I really, really connect primarily with Sekhmet, and I've got a lot of Hathor in the background. And if you are very much with Hathor, she's there, so also as well, the cat feline energy. No doubt that you're going to be connected to the white lions, the star lions, Sirius, Lyra. Those are all the star beings that are kind of like that will come up for you. And also to understand what the cat frequency is all about. I mean, like, it's very of the stars, but also as well, if you can liken yourself to maybe a lioness or even a male lion, whichever you dig, it's like there is a great gift in observing how they are in the wild. You know, how a mother defends her cubs. She loves them fiercely, and how she is just so assertive and just gets the job done when it's hunting and everything like that. You know, they rest when they're supposed to rest. You know, in the hot, like, you know, the hot days, the African days, they rest. You know, they conserve their energy, but they only go for it when it's time. So as there's that discernment and, like, you know, that the vision, the senses, you know, and being able to walk across the land completely undetected, totally quiet, like stealth, you know. So you start to kind of like embody nature around you through these gods and goddesses, because remembering Neteru, Egyptian Neteru, means nature. Okay, so it's basically the gods and goddesses of Egypt, the Neteru, are reflections of nature and animals. Thoth is the sacred ibis, you know. Sekhmet is a cat, you know. It's like Anubis is a jackal. They embody all of these senses, you know. Horus is a hawk, you know. Isis is connected to a kite. So it goes on and on. You just unpack this and you start to understand more and more and more of yourself. So that is how you would work with Sekhmet. She's going to be very much with you all the way through the tour, because she is going to be the one that's saying, hey, do this, do that. She's very staunch. She gets to you. She's like, do this, do that. She's very commanding, and she doesn't take any nonsense at all, you know. And I love her. I absolutely love her. So short story now, when I went into the temple, many years ago, actually, I remember being squashed up against the wall. There were so many people in her Holy of Holies, in her sacred sanctuary where she stood, and everybody was scrabbling to just kind of touch her and be with her. But I was kind of like up at the side. And then all of a sudden I heard this channel, and she started to talk to me. And she said, you know, you're going to bring your tours to Egypt. And I was like, I had no intention at all. And she said, yeah, it's not going to look like this at all. It's going to be very different. So I naively thought, oh, it's probably going to be teaching with other people or whatever. And she said, no, it's going to be very different. And actually, how true was that? Because as I'm moving with the tablets of light, which is the activation of my sacred creation, you have one exactly the same within you. That's why you're coming to Egypt with me, because I'm going to reflect that back to you, because you have one. Sekhmet said to me, get out there and get it done. And then I did. And then when I came back with my group and I walked in to see her again, first of all, I got a fit of the giggles. And then I just cried profusely, because she just said, well, you did it then. And I was like, yeah, I did. And I was just absolutely in awe of how crystal clear that clarity of a message came through, and that I actually went and did it. And she held my hand all the way through it. She really, really did, and really does. So once you kind of get really comfortable with these gods and goddesses, I cannot tell you how that the level of creations you'll be able to put out there, because what you think you've got going on right now, wait until you've walked the lands with the sacred beings and you've come out the other end and you've received your activations, because you have a version of the tablets of light tour. That's just my co-creation. That think big, it's infinite. And that is what she's going to show you. You know, you create through courage. That's it. Unapologetic. Now, sacred Sekhmet is tucked away at the back of a very, very powerful, what I call a city, and it's Karnak. Okay, Karnak there are so many gods and goddesses there. It's like you go there, and it's where the Egyptians used to go back in the day to actually be on a pilgrimage. They used to go there and go to the Holy Land, which was Karnak, or the Holy Temple. And then they would come with their questions and their offerings, and they used to hold their festivals there. So there would be celebrations for many different gods and goddesses at the same time. So it's like a small city. And again, you need the whole day to walk around that place, because it's so big. And there's a massive pool, a massive healing lake in the center of it. And that is where they used to do the sacred ceremonies of the water cleansing and everything like that. So she is part of Karnak. So Karnak is not Sekhmet's temple, which everybody thinks it is. Sekhmet's temple is at the back. And the reason she's at the back is because many are scared of her, because she's so fierce, especially the Egyptians. And that's why, because she used to cause trouble a little bit, because she's the goddess of war, they tucked her at the back there, you know? So she was tucked at the back there with Ptah, which was her sacred other, and Nefertum, which was her child. Okay. And I think that he was also Imhotep, which was a very, very powerful architect and doctor. So anyway, you can follow the lines and the crossovers. Again, Waleed is going to probably correct me, but explain to you exactly what all of these gods and goddesses meant and were in the mythology. I mean, it's going to be epic, but that is Sekhmet, and you are going to love her.